Hey everybody, Build It here. I'm going to talk about a little bit about surf again. This is my second video on surf. Well, things haven't gone according to plan, obviously. Oops, stuff falling all over the place. So, what's really happening? I did get everything, had everything lined up for a venue. The problem is, in order to actually do the surf, I have to create a limited partnership, an LLC, because I don't want everything to be in my name. I don't want to be liable if something goes wrong. You want the LLC to be liable, so that way the LLC can get sued and the individuals don't. So I haven't had the money to set up the LLC, so that created an issue right there. I can't make contracts with companies to be corporate sponsors. I can't do a whole lot of stuff that goes along with setting up the surf. So it's kind of on hold. It's probably going to end up not happening in 2020. It's probably going to be more likely 2021. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. I wish I could say it had better news than that, but that's how things are. So initially what my plan was, I have a business that I invested in, a lot of money I invested. I won't talk about how much, but a lot. The business hadn't paid me this year. They were supposed to, but what ended up happening is that the amount of money I was supposed to make, I would have been taxed at 50%, which is capital gains tax, so I would have lost half my money. I currently have credit for my taxes of $29,000, so that is what I'm going to receive back as a credit this year on my taxes, which will be filed in February or whatever time. I will supposedly I'll get paid the money next year, hopefully January, February time frame, and then I'll start the process going and setting up an LLC and start getting things ready for 2021. It'd be nice if I could get some more help from anybody in the southwestern United States, because this is Southwestern Rep Rap Festival, even though we put it as SRRF because it sounded cool as surf. I know somebody else has asked me if I was really tied to that name. Yes, I am. I have already set up a web page for surf, even though it's got nothing in it. It's just a holding place for it. But the URL is already set. Eventually, I'll work on the web page, but no, there was no need to do so until I actually had something going on. I guess I should start doing stuff like posting these videos to let people know with updates. Sort of like what Chris does with East Coast Rep Rap Festival, which is now no longer going to be called East Coast. It's just going to be called like Eastern Rep Rap Festival, which is cool. That's fine. Because he's close to the coast, but not really on the coast. I'm really close to the coast, being in California, but I'm not calling it West Coast Rep Rap Festival. I'm calling it Southwestern because it represents more of the area. You know, we're California, or Southern California in my case. You know, Nevada, Arizona. You know, those areas. That's Southwest. Even though Texas might be considered Southwest, I don't know. I really don't know if they're considered Southwest or just South. But anyway, I didn't call it Western Rep Rap Festival, WRF, or anything like that, because I've said, well, what if somebody in the Northwest wants to set up a Rep Rap Festival? Then they could do the Northwestern Rep Rap Festival, call it NERF or something like that. So somebody in the South, in Florida, I won't use his name, Josh, asked me about surf and whether or not I was tied to it, because he wants to do one called the Southern Rep Rap Festival. Well, okay, so he's in Florida. South, yeah, it's south, but you know, it's really on the south coast. And what I said was is actually southeast, right? So I said, why don't you just call it the Southeastern Rep Rap Festival, SERRF, which then it really is surf, pronounced it correctly. Uh, so it could be surfed that way. I chose the name over a year ago. So like I created a website already. It's already has the URL. There's already a holding place. If you go to southwesternreprapfestival.com, you will find there's a holding place for it. So it's not like I haven't done anything with the website other than create a holding space for it. Let's see. So here is the holding space for it. As you, if I can get, always do that. Always on the wrong monitor. So here's the holding space coming soon. Something great is coming. Southwestern Rep Rap Festival. So that's where we're at right now. I've been doing everything on my own because I haven't gotten anybody to volunteer to help out. But that's the way life is sometimes. The only person I've gotten to help with anything is I can't remember his real name, but AR6, ARE6, R6 or something like that. R6 on Twitter. So I know that he has been helping me designing a logo. So right here, R6 builds. So I believe that's who is helping me out. Let me check my email. That will really tell me the truth here. I'm not going to let you see what it is because it's on the screen that my video is displayed on and not the screen that's showing, because you don't need to see his email address because it's something that's more for so yeah, so anyway, so he was working on the logo for me. Let's see if I can open it up here. So this was one of the logos he sent to me so that we could kind of decide a Southwestern theme. You'll have like SRRF in the middle on that, and that's kind of the logo, a Southwestern themed logo that he was working on for surf. So that's what we're looking at. So that's where I'm at right now. Surf is kind of, like I said, on hold. Like I said, maybe 2021, more likely 2021 now. I don't want to do it in the fall of 2020 because you already have SRRF going on. And once you get past a certain point, so like SRRF is in October. Once you get past a certain point, it's like, well, okay, you just had a big show. You're coming up on November. So November is, Thanksgiving. People are going to be doing family things. They aren't necessarily want to go to do a trade show. So then you got December, which is Christmas, and the same issue. I really didn't want to do anything in January because if I did something in January, then it ends up falling right after Christmas when everybody's had a bunch of bills they're paying because they bought all these Christmas gifts that they couldn't really afford. So I try to avoid that as much as I can. I'm trying to make things as easy and simple as we can. There is nothing currently in the West. That's the problem, right? Even though they call one Midwestern Rep Rap, I don't know if I call that Midwestern Rep Rap, but that's me. I'd call it like Central Rep Rap, but that's the way I am. Because in Goshen, Indiana, which is more central United States than it is Midwest. So, but that's me. They called it what they wanted. They had the name. I think they were the very first Rep Rap Festival. I'm not sure. I don't know the history of the Rep Rap festivals. So I'll plug a couple other ones. I know that one is being worked on as well for Australia, which is being called ARF, the Australian Rep Festival. I know that Alien 3D is trying to set up the Southern Rep Festival. But I'm not giving up my name. I've already gone with Surf SRRF. If he wants to, he can go with SERRF. And sorry, Josh, but that's the way it is. I've chosen the name for a reason because it sounds cool and surf fits, right? I'm on the West Coast, and surf fits the West Coast. You know, a lot of surfing goes on here. A lot of surfing, I'm sure, goes on in Florida too. But I think surfing is probably bigger here in the West Coast than on the East Coast. But that's me. Anyway, so that's pretty much where we are. So yeah, so no surf yet. The surf is not up. Pun intended there. So that's where we are with surf. If anybody would like to volunteer, you know, you can leave a comment for me, and let me know if you're interested in helping to get surf organized and get it running, get it going. Not a lot I can do. You know, it's difficult for me as it is doing it on my own, working a full-time job where I'm gone. I am basically gone 13 hours a day from the time I leave the house to the time I return to the house. So, you know, 13 hours of my day is gone. And that, you know, when I'm home, I have other things to do. You know, you get home, you eat dinner. You know, so it's time to eat, or supper, depending on what you want to call it. In military, breakfast is breakfast. Dinner is what everybody calls lunch. And then supper is your evening meal. Here, a lot of people call, you know, typically outside of the military, they call lunch, not dinner. And they don't call supper, they call supper dinner. So, I mean, it depends on who you are or what you're doing. But anyway, it's my evening meal when I come home. And, you know, so you're looking at probably an hour just to sit down and have something to eat. And then you have your evening to sit down and just relax for a little while, or work on projects, work on whatever you're working on. I'm working on a project now that I'm trying to get done. You can see it right there on my other screen where I'm not talking. That's a what do they call it? A raven. It's a raven. It's an animatronic raven that I'm working on. I can't get my camera any closer. I guess I could move the raven closer, but that's the raven right there. The beginnings of it. It's still not enclosed, obviously. You don't have all the body and feathers on it, but that shows you all the servo motors. There are 5 servos in this. One of them you can't see because it's inside the head, and that's the one that opens and closes the jaw or the beak. So it will be battery powered to run the whole thing. It has a little control board here that runs, that you'll load software into when you're done. I've verified all the motors are working. So my next thing is I need to work on the hips to get the hips to move, so the crow will raise up and down, like he's standing up a little bit. And then I need to do the wings. So those are the only things I got left to do on this. He's getting really close to getting there. I just verified all the motors work. I have the feathers for the wings here in this bag. This is all feathers inside this bag. There's like a fur type of material that goes over like the head. And then there's another fur material that goes over the body. And then the body is right here, they're vacuum formed parts. The head is a vacuum formed head as well. So that's where that all is. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna hide the wires, but initially I think I'm just gonna have the wires be behind them because nobody will see behind the crow. The battery pack and the board will be inside of a skull. The whole thing will be mounted on an anatomically correct human skull that I'm gonna 3D print, and it'll be mounted on top of that. and then I'm going to hook up a little soundboard that'll be actuated by the control board, and the soundboard will be basically the caw caw that like a raven makes, and then it'll say nevermore, which is a reference to Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, so quoth the raven nevermore. So that's what the idea is with that. So anyway, that's that. I thought I'd talk about it since I have it, since it shows up in my other camera here. I usually don't turn off my camera. I usually leave two on all the time whenever I'm doing something, because I just did the two boxes that I received, you know, the UFO box and the Filament One Profi box. I just did those videos. I used one video to this camera here that has the Raven in it. I used that to show the box, and then the other one is more focused on me, that I can also move things in and out of the camera, to show like this. This is my list of what the channels are doing on the Raven, the channels on the controller board. So things like that I do. I use that camera to show the things. Like I'll show the packing stuff, in this case, the Filament One Profi box. I'll show it on this camera, and the box will be here, being showing what's inside the box. So that's how I typically have my camera set. And I'll move this camera around. I'll pick it up and I'll move it and bring it in, and I'll show like a close-up of something if I'm trying to, specifically show something. So that's the way I have my cameras stuff to run. And I'm using webcams. So these are just webcams. They're 1080p webcams. I have two of them set up. My wife says she wants to start doing some videos of cooking, because she has a degree in restaurant management. So she wants to do some videos on cooking. So I have a webcam that I gave her, and she's set up downstairs in the kitchen to be able to do videos on cooking. So that's what's going on. Let's see. Next thing I need to work on, I need to finish working on my Raven, and I'll get back to surf again. Once I have some money, I can get the LLC set up. Then I'll get back into getting surf all set up again. Hopefully, people that see this, I don't have many subscribers, so I apologize for that. I'm still very small time as far as YouTube is concerned. I got 40. I think I got 40 subscribers now. I think that's what I have. So it's not. I'm not very big in the world of YouTube. Let's see if I can open my channel here. Let's see what it say. Yeah. So there's my channel. My header is actually this is a photograph I had taken at a balloon festival. So that it's actually my photograph. I have the rights to that photo. Nobody can ever say it's not that I don't have the rights to it, because I actually own that. I took those photos. I went to a balloon festival a few years ago, and that's one of the photos I had taken, which I thought was really cool. I have a big 11 by 17 print of it that I printed on one of my printers, and it's hanging in my living room downstairs, along with a sunset photo that I did as well that I have posted. And I have other photos that I've printed and all that. But anyway, right here it says I'm at 40 subscribers. That's what I have. I have 2,537 views and 40 subscribers. So I'm interested in quite a few things. You can see I have some other videos, the animatronics, which is the Raven that I'm working on, casting videos, which I'm also interested in. Some of the other 3D Print Generals thing here, Alien 3D here, Simone Gertz and her converted Tesla converted to a truck. Gold Fever Radio, which is on gold prospecting. Cat 3D's here. Chuck Hellebuck, he's on there. Mostly 3D printing, a few other minor things. Like the gold prospecting, which I'm really into. Maybe one day I'll do a video on that. I'll go out in the desert and do some videos out in the desert when I'm out there mining. I'll show how I find locations. I'll do a video on different things. I have a metal detector. One of the more advanced ones is called a pulse detector. So I go out and I'll try and find gold with that. I haven't had any luck actually finding gold. I do go to detector hunts, and I'm very successful in those, where they actually have stuff planted out in the field, and you try and locate as much as you can in an hour. So I've been working on that, and I have another trip planned for that in the beginning of November. I think it's November 9th, which is Saturday. I plan on going out on a trip for that. So yeah, that's about it, I guess. I follow quite a few people. I subscribe to quite a few people. You can see like my subscriptions over here on the side. A lot more than those that are shown. As you can see, I do follow quite a few. I don't always get to watch everything that they put out, but I follow them. I can go and look. I can go and watch what's going on. If I see something that really has a strong interest, I have a strong interest in 3D printing, or I wouldn't be doing this, right? So that's why I'm setting up SRRF. That's why I'm doing all this. I have 8 3D printers right now. I have 2 resin printers, which are both spark makers, and I have a CR10, an Ender 3. I forgot what company it is, like FL something, not FL Sun though, but FL something. I have a cube printer. I have an original Prusa, or genuine Prusa Mach 2S with the MMU. So I have a few printers out there. I have another one that's supposed to be coming soon, which prints clay, and then you can fire it in a kiln and make ceramics. So I have that coming. So I have a few printers. And as some of you know, also I am involved in this business, and the business is actually a school, and we're trying to get the approvals to teach in the prison systems here in California. They don't call them prisons anymore. They call them, like for men, it's called the California Institute for Men. How weird is that? It's not a prison anymore. It's not a jail. It's a California Institute for Men. Okay, yeah, right. It's a prison. Anyway, we're trying to get certification to be able to teach classes there. We thought we were going to get it sooner, and then we already scheduled things. We got a quote for, I think it was for 50 printers already to set up the class. We got a quote. We haven't ordered them yet because they asked for more information for the certification place. It's a company. It's a California government entity that does the certifications. They asked for more information, so we delivered them another 250 pages of information that they requested. So that's been what our delay is with that. Otherwise, we'd already have the printers ordered. So I'm busy also writing that course because I am the head instructor, even though I won't actually go to the prisons and teach. I will be training 4 instructors, and the 4 instructors will actually be the ones who will teach in the prison. So those will be using, in this case, the Pulse 3D printers. So Matter Hackers is the provider for those. This will be our first prison once we get the approval and get certified and we can do it. It'll be our first, and if it's successful, we will expand it into other ones, because once we have the certification, we can do this in other prisons within California. So that's the goal here. Then once we reach a certain point, we probably will try and expand it, because our school is currently in 23 states right now. So we may expand it into other prison systems in other states. And we'll probably just start expanding eastward from California and going eastward as we go. Like so we'll go to Arizona and Nevada and then keep going that way. That's the current plan. So really we're covering almost half the United States with our school currently. Mostly it's insurance, business and insurance schools. So they teach how to get certified in the insurance industry, so you can get your certifications. You have to take an exam to become an insurance sales or an insurance agent, and also then cyber investigative services. They teach that as a course as well. So 3D printing is definitely different than what those other ones are. So that's what we're at. So that's why I'm pretty busy. I do the 3D printing stuff, and I'm trying to get SRRF going. But I have other things, and unfortunately, those other things are a bit higher priority than SRRF is, because they're the ones that are going to fund my retirement. I cannot work forever. I am already 63. I'd like to retire in a couple of years while I'm still reasonably healthy and can do things, right, where I can go out and travel and do other things. So that's the goal here, is to get that going to a point where I don't have to work at a regular job anymore. And so it keeps me very busy with all the different things that I have going on already. And so SRRF is something that, and I really want to get it going. I think we need to have a Rep Rap Festival in the Western United States. A lot of people just don't go to these other ones because they have to fly there. When you're spending, $1,000, $2,000 to go to one of these shows, a lot of people won't go because it's just not in their budget. So a lot of people from the West don't go out to these shows. I was going to go to East Coast Rep Rap Festival, then same thing. The money that I need to set up SRRF is the same money I need to be able to do that traveling. Because all of my money is currently tied up in the business. And until I start making money from the business, I'm funds limited, as you say. So my funds are very limited at the moment. So a lot of it depends on this business, and this will be my 3rd year in this business. So within the laws of pertaining to tax laws, if a business is not making you money after 3 years, it's no longer a business, it's a hobby. And then we don't get the tax write-offs anymore. So I have to make money this year. So I was supposed to receive, like I said, a chunk of money, and I haven't received it yet, but I should get it. I better get it this year. Let's put it that way, because otherwise the business is gone. So, but I think I'll get paid. It boiled down to tax situations. Like I said, I would have had to pay half the money in taxes, 50% capital gains tax. Once we get this certification, I get there's some tax credits we get to go along with that, and my tax credits will offset all of the like the capital gains tax. It'll offset that, so I won't pay any taxes on that money next year if we get the certification. If we don't get the certification, then I'm paying the taxes. I have to pay it. That's the way it is. It's the way the government works. So they want their money, and I can't do anything about that. So I know this is getting a bit long, and I'm talking about multiple things. I'm just trying to let you know this is why it's taking a while, why things haven't progressed the way that we wanted them to progress. So that's where we are. If you have any suggestions, any comments, anything at all, if you want to volunteer, leave me a message, post, let me know if you want to volunteer to help out. Like I said, we can shoot for 2021 as being our show date now. The venue that I was going to use, they said, let us know when you're ready. Whenever you're ready to start, we can set it up. We can work it all out. The prices may change, obviously, because it'll be another year. But they're willing to work with me to get the show set up. That's all they do. The place where I went to, that's basically all they do. They are um, a convention center of sorts, not really a full-on convention center, not like San Diego Convention Center in downtown San Diego, but they have their own, and that they have, you know, almost 30,000 square feet of floor space or more. I think more than that. We were looking at 27,000 square feet for surf, and they have plenty of room for that. So that's where we are. Hopefully we can get this worked out for 2021, and we'll see you all soon, I guess, on video, one of my videos anyway. And this is Build It. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one.